Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here once again with another video on The Flash Season 5. So every season of The Flash we meet new characters that will be sticking with us for maybe just that season in particular, or possibly for seasons to follow. So that includes characters like Julian Albert, Nora Allen, and in the case of this video, Ralph Dibny. So Ralph was introduced, obviously, last season, that being Season 4, where he started off as an old foe of our mate Barry Allen due to some issues that they had in the past where Barry's goody two-shoes attitude led to Ralph losing his job, and in the process, losing his way in life. Ralph was already a bit of a shady dude when he was at the top of his game at CCPD, but as soon as Barry hashtag exposed him, Ralph kept some of those negative traits from CCPD, but took them into a shadier route where he was dealing with the wrong people, and in turn became a worse person. But that was the beauty of Ralph's story in Season 4. It was a story of redemption and someone getting back to a point where they were a good person and being their true self. And it was a great nod to the comics, which I have stated previously to explain why they did what they did with Ralph on the show. He was presented as a villain in his first appearance in the comics. But obviously he went on to become a hero in the comics. One of the more heroic ones, if you actually want to be specific. So the way in which they played that out, in his story in Season 4 makes complete sense. Like, this is what Hartley Sawyer himself had to say in regards to his character of Ralph Dibny. Last season for me, I always had it painted in my brain that it was a redemption of Ralph Dibny. The theme for me was his redemption, going from boy to man in a way, or man-child to man. I think now that he's more mature and adult, it's about him figuring out how he fits into the team and what he can bring to the table. Obviously, there were people who didn't like Ralph, some for reasons that made sense, but for the majority of people that didn't like him, the reasons that they didn't like him didn't make sense. But for me personally, and I'm sure many of you will agree, Ralph was a great addition to the show and just added something different. Whether that be his interactions with Barry and the banter that they had back and forth, which had been lacking to be completely honest on the show. Sure, Cisco and Barry are mates, but their friendship wasn't like what we saw with Barry and Ralph as we got deeper and deeper into Season 4. And his powers as the Elongated Man were pretty cool to see on the show, and something that I personally never thought we would see on the show. I just thought the CGI would be too much, but to be honest, they pulled it off pretty well. I was pretty impressed, so great job there. Now, as we all know, Ralph survived Season 4. Sure, he was taken by DeVoe, many thought he was dead, but I was one of the few that was stating, Ralph will come back. And then essentially set photos confirm that, but I was saying from the get-go that he would be returning as they spent so much time on his story that it would be borderline insane just to kill him off. It would have been a whole big waste of time. And of course, he came back during the process of taking down DeVoe in the finale, and of course that means that your boy Ralph Dibny, aka the Elongated Man, will be sticking around for Season 5 of The Flash. But what is actually in store for him in Season 5? What's going on with Ralph Dibny? Well, straight after Season 4 finished, like when that finale aired, which was of course the episode in which Ralph returned, this is what the executive producer of The Flash, the showrunner, Todd Helbing, had to say regarding Ralph Dibny. There's a tremendous amount of Ralph Dibny stories that we haven't tapped into from the comics yet that we certainly want to do, so it's going to be great to have him around. So what could they be doing in Season 5 of The Flash with Ralph in regards to his own stories from the comics and stuff like that? Well, let's go over a few possibilities. The first being the major one that I think a lot of people do want to see that are familiar with Ralph in the comics, and that is Sue Dibny. I think if you were going to keep Ralph on the show, you have to bring in Sue. She is as quintessential to Ralph as your Lois Lane to your Superman, your Black Canary to your Green Arrow, your Iris West to your Barry Allen. Sue is that to Ralph. I think it would have just been cool. I thought it would have been cool that Sue would have been that reporter that Ralph was speaking to when saving the day when he officially became the Elongated Man. And I think it was the Elongated Night Rises. I think that's the name of the episode. That would have been a nice setup if he simply just asked her what her name was and she just simply replied Sue or something like that. But we will have to wait and see if they decide to go with that story for Ralph in Season 5. But the fun fact is that in the comics, Ralph was actually one of the first heroes to get married, and he got married to Sue. The next thing they could do with Ralph is have him be a superhero without a secret identity. This was a big trait with Ralph in the comics, as he was one of the first heroes to be known to the public. Like, people knew that Ralph Dibny was the Elongated Man. The reason he did this was for publicity, to make money through special appearances and stuff like that. Obviously, we know on the show that Ralph isn't the most wealthy of people, so this could be something we see him do on the show to keep him afloat, so he can continue to not only just be a hero in Central City, but also focus on the next point that we will be talking about. And that next point is that of detective work. So we saw some examples of Ralph's detective work in Season 4, but nothing that amazing and brilliant. So we should be sure to see some of that play out in Season 5 of The Flash, and that is exactly what we are going to be getting by the sounds of it from, once again, Todd Helbing, and this is what he had to say. Ralph is going to be doing a lot more detecting this season than he did last season, and I think the description of Elongated Man was that he has the detective skills that rival Batman's. So we want to get him on his journey in that regard this season. And that is true. In the comics, he is up there with Batman in regards to his detective skills. And what is another tagline or sort of like a alias or name that Batman gets all the time? That's right, the world's greatest detective. So Ralph Dibny is close to that level. So you would definitely hope to see that play out in Season 5. Maybe that could be all connected to the villain for this season and trying to link what he is doing and try and get some leads in regards to that. And you never know, maybe Ralph might play a part in some problem solving when it comes to the issues that Nora Allen is facing this season. But I'm a big Ralph Dibny fan on the show. Hartley Sawyer, who plays him, does an awesome, just amazing job. And I can't wait to see what they do with him in Season 5. And I'm sure a decent amount of you are excited as well. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below. Are you excited to see more Ralph Dibny this season? What's something that you would like to see with him on the show this season? Do you want to see Sue Dibny come on the show? Let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.